Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. The hidden power sitting in your spice rack. There's a small object in your kitchen right now that you probably overlook every day. It's not flashy. It doesn't require electricity or batteries. And yet, it holds a quiet kind of power, one that sages, monks, and mystics have trusted for centuries. That object is a simple stick of cinnamon. Yes, the same cinnamon you might sprinkle on oatmeal or stir into your tea. But here's what most people don't realize. Cinnamon is far more than just a spice. It's an energetic tool. A carrier of fire element. A symbolic bridge between your physical space and the spiritual frequency of abundance. In ancient traditions, long before banks, apps, or spreadsheets, people turned to nature to invite wealth and protection. Cinnamon was one of the most revered ingredients. Not because of superstition, but because of experience. When placed with intention, it was said to open energetic gateways for prosperity, success, and emotional warmth to flow in. But the secret isn't in the cinnamon itself. It's in the way you use it. In this video, you're going to learn how a simple act, placing cinnamon in a specific area of your home, can begin to shift the flow of energy around you. Not just in theory, but in your actual life. I'll share with you real placements, practical rituals, and powerful stories of transformation that begin with one mindful decision. If you're someone who's been feeling blocked financially, emotionally overwhelmed, or simply disconnected from your living space, this might be the quiet key you've been missing. So take a breath. Let this be more than just another tip. Let it be the beginning of a new kind of relationship with your home, your energy, and your path to abundance. If you're ready to step into that journey, now is the perfect moment. Click the like button to anchor this energy. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma to continue this path of transformation. And share in the comments. I am ready to welcome abundance with clarity and warmth. Now, let's begin with just one stick of cinnamon. Part 1. Why cinnamon? The Dharma behind the spice. Before we even speak of placement or rituals, we must ask, why cinnamon? Out of all the spices in the world, what makes this one so powerful, so spiritually charged, that ancient cultures from east to west held it in sacred regard? To understand the answer, we must look beyond the surface. Cinnamon doesn't just warm your tea. It warms your energy field. In the language of the Dharma, this warmth represents more than comfort. It reflects the fire of awareness, the inner flame that burns away illusion, inertia, and self-doubt. In both Buddhist philosophy and classical Feng Shui, fire is the element of transformation. It is not passive. It does not wait. Fire cuts through fog, illuminates darkness, and turns raw material into nourishment. In our lives, this is the energy of motivation, clarity, and inspired action. It's the moment when confusion lifts and purpose returns. Cinnamon carries this fire within it, not as heat, but as frequency. For centuries, spiritual practitioners used cinnamon as a bridge between realms. Temples burned it in censers to awaken presence. Monks ground it into ritual blends to stimulate focus during long meditation sessions. It was believed that cinnamon opened the senses, not just physical ones, but the deeper, intuitive sense that lets you feel what is energetically out of alignment. Modern science now confirms what ancient wisdom intuited. Scent bypasses the rational brain and speaks directly to memory, instinct, and emotion. The aroma of cinnamon doesn't just smell pleasant, it reminds your body of warmth, security, and expansion. But this is not about passive comfort. This is about deliberate ignition. When you place cinnamon in a space, be it your bedroom, your entryway, or even your wallet, you are not decorating. You are planting fire. You are choosing to awaken a part of your space, and yourself, that has been asleep. And like any sacred tool, cinnamon works best when used with mindfulness. It is not a magic wand. It is a mirror. It reflects back the energy you place into it. Place it with fear, and it absorbs fear. Place it with faith, and it radiates confidence. So before you begin, ask yourself, what part of your life is ready to be lit again? Because cinnamon is not just a spice. It is a spark. And when you use it with wisdom, it becomes a signal to the universe. I am ready to transform. Part 2. The bedroom, where beliefs are born. If there is one room in the house where your thoughts quietly take root and grow into beliefs, it is the bedroom. This is not just a place for sleep, it is a sacred chamber where your conscious mind goes quiet, and your subconscious mind rises to the surface. In Buddhist teachings, the subconscious is where karma is stored, not just the karma of actions, but of thought patterns, deep-rooted perceptions, and emotional imprints. And those imprints are shaped most strongly when the mind is at rest. At night, while your body sleeps, your inner world listens. It listens to the energy of the room, the emotional residue of your day, the symbolic items placed around you. This is why the bedroom plays a powerful but silent role in shaping your relationship with abundance. I once worked with a woman named Claudia, a freelance designer. She had no issue finding clients, but she constantly undercharged and felt undeserving of wealth. Her bedroom was immaculate, but cold. Minimalist to the point of emptiness. No personal touches, no warmth. She said, "I don't want to get too comfortable." That belief echoed in her finances. I suggested something simple. Place a cinnamon stick inside a linen pouch and tuck it gently under her pillow. Not as a charm, but as a message. A message to her own subconscious. I am safe to receive. I am worthy of comfort and prosperity. Within weeks, her mindset shifted. She raised her rates for the first time in years, without guilt. She even added soft lighting and personal art to her space. Her external abundance followed her inner permission. Why does cinnamon matter here? Because cinnamon, as a fire element, acts as an energetic activator. When placed in the bedroom, it doesn't burn, it gently warms. It radiates a soft message that says, you are allowed to want more. You are allowed to feel ease. You are allowed to believe in expansion. Where and how you place it matters. Tuck it beneath your pillow to influence your dreams. Place it in a small sachet near your headboard to gently influence the subconscious. Or hide it inside a drawer as a quiet guardian of prosperity. Whatever method you choose, be intentional. Don't just place it, plant it. With a thought. With a breath. With a gentle affirmation like, as I sleep, I welcome abundance into the deepest parts of my mind. In the end, the bedroom is not only where you rest. It's where your next version of self is incubated. When you place cinnamon here, you are not just improving sleep, you are transforming the soil in which your beliefs grow. And those beliefs? They become your reality. Part 3, the bathroom. Stop the silent drain of fortune. In the ancient systems of Feng Shui, there is one element that is both deeply powerful and notoriously unstable: water. It is the symbol of wealth, flow, and emotional clarity. But without proper guidance, water can also represent loss, dispersion, and decay. And in the modern home, the place where water moves most freely, often without our awareness, is the bathroom. The bathroom is a paradox. It is where we cleanse, yet it is also where energy escapes. Drains, Toilets, sinks, and showers all act as energetic exit points. And while we flush away what we no longer need physically, we may also be unintentionally flushing away financial fortune, emotional stability, and mental clarity. I remember a man named David, a successful software consultant, who confided that no matter how much he earned, his money seemed to vanish. "It's like it leaks out of my life," he once said. That language struck me. Leaking. As we explored his living space, one detail stood out. His master bathroom had a slow, barely audible drip behind the sink. The tiles were always damp. The air, always heavy. He hadn't connected it before. But the moment we corrected the plumbing and sealed the space energetically, his finances began to stabilize. Not through a lottery win or sudden windfall, but through calm, fewer unexpected expenses, better savings habits, and more confidence in his decisions. So how does cinnamon come into this? Cinnamon, when paired with coarse salt, creates a simple yet powerful remedy. Salt absorbs heavy, stagnant energy. Cinnamon, as fire, introduces warmth and energetic protection. Together, they act as a shield against energetic leakage. Here's how to use them. Mix cinnamon powder and coarse sea salt in a small bowl. Sprinkle a pinch of the blend around bathroom drains, especially in corners where energy might pool. Place a whole cinnamon stick behind the bathroom door or above the door frame. This isn't about decoration. It's about intention. Every time you sprinkle or place the cinnamon, say silently, "I seal my energy. I keep what nourishes me." Also, pay attention to the bathroom door. It swings open and closed dozens of times a day, moving energy in and out. Placing a stick of cinnamon at this threshold helps moderate that flow, creating a quiet boundary between purification and preservation. The bathroom may never be a sacred space like a meditation room. But with care, it can become a space of conscious release, where you let go of what no longer serves you without losing what still supports you. Because wealth is not just about what comes in. It's also about what you learn to keep. Part 4, Hidden Corners, Unblock the Energy You've Forgotten. Every home has places we rarely notice. The narrow space behind a door. A shelf under the stairs. That forgotten corner where dust gathers, wires tangle, and light never quite reaches. On the surface, these areas seem unimportant, out of sight, out of mind. But energetically, they are far from neutral. In Feng Shui, hidden or neglected corners are known as silent collectors. They gather what you ignore, emotionally and spiritually. In Buddhist teachings, the same principle applies inwardly. What we avoid in ourselves often becomes the seat of suffering. When energy has no flow, stagnation follows. And where stagnation accumulates, abundance cannot thrive. I once spoke with a retired teacher named Lily who had a cozy home filled with warmth, except for one space. It was a tight corner beside a cabinet near the back entrance. "I don't know why," she said, "but I always feel heavy when I walk past it." That space had become a dumping ground, old books, tangled cords, a cracked vase, untouched in years. I suggested she do 3 things: clean it mindfully, place a small green plant for renewal, and add a cinnamon stick inside a drawer nearby. She didn't expect much. But days later, she called me to say, "I didn't just clear the corner, I feel like I cleared something inside me." And that's the truth most people overlook. Your home is a mirror. A stagnant space often reflects a part of you that's been silently asking for attention. Cinnamon, in this case, serves a different role. It's not sealing or calming, it's awakening. With its fiery essence, it warms the forgotten space. It gently nudges stuck energy, saying, "It's time to move again." If there's a part of your home that feels dark, stale, or emotionally heavy, here's what to do. Clean it slowly, with presence. Wipe surfaces with warm water and a few drops of cinnamon oil or powder mixed in. Place a cinnamon stick in a dish or fabric pouch, then add a simple token of life, a plant, a crystal, or even a small candle. Most importantly, as you do this, speak to the space in your heart. You are not forgotten. You are part of my flow. You don't need to renovate or redecorate. You only need to recognize. In Buddhist thought, awareness itself is healing. And when you bring awareness to a space that's been energetically asleep, something incredible happens. It starts to breathe again. And when the hidden parts of your home come back to life, so do the hidden parts of you. Part 5, Wallet or Safe, the Portable Energy Field. If your home is the temple of your energy, then your wallet is the altar you carry with you. We often think of our wallet, or our safe, as a simple container for cash, cards, and documents. But from an energetic and spiritual perspective, these are not just storage tools. They are mirrors of your financial karma, expressions of your beliefs, habits, and self-worth in relation to money. In Buddhist philosophy, intention shapes form. The way you treat what you hold reflects how you relate to what you value. If your wallet is torn, stuffed with old receipts, and treated carelessly, it silently signals disorganization, anxiety, or even avoidance. If your safe is buried in clutter or neglected, it may reflect fear of looking too closely at your own finances. I once met a photographer named Ben who struggled with irregular income. I feel like money just slips through my fingers, he told me. When we explored his space, I asked to see his wallet. It was overstuffed, zipped shut tightly, and filled with expired cards and coins from old trips. There was no order, just a sense of grasping. I invited him to perform a ritual. First, clean the wallet. Let go of anything expired or unnecessary. Then, create a simple charm, a small cinnamon stick, a bay leaf with his name and intention written on it, and a clean coin. He wrapped them in red thread and tucked them into a hidden pocket. He called this his grounding piece. And over time, not only did his income stabilize, he began to feel more confident asking for his worth. Why cinnamon? Because cinnamon, aligned with fire energy, activates and protects. It offers warmth without burning, focus without pressure. Inside a wallet or safe, it becomes a subtle generator, reminding you of flow, not fear. To activate this practice for yourself, choose a fresh, whole cinnamon stick. Combine it with a bay leaf, symbol of achievement, and a coin, symbol of flow. Wrap them together in natural fabric or thread, and place them in your wallet or safe, anywhere money is stored or called in. Every time you see it, pause and breathe. Let it be a moment of reverence, not control. Say silently, I honor the energy of wealth. I carry it with peace and clarity. Remember, your wallet travels with you. It collects not just money, but frequency. How you treat it sends signals to your mind, your habits, and the world around you. Treat it like a sacred vessel. Because it is. Part 6, The Kitchen, the Hidden Heart of Wealth. There is a quiet truth that many ancient traditions share. A warm kitchen means a prosperous home. In Feng Shui, the kitchen represents the fire element, not just literal flames from the stove, but symbolic fire that sustains health, stability, and abundance. In Buddhist teachings, fire is the energy of transformation. It's what turns raw experience into insight, suffering into compassion, and effort into nourishment. The kitchen, more than any other room, is where intention becomes tangible. It is where you prepare food with care, offer nourishment to yourself and others, and keep the flame of daily life burning. And yet, in many modern homes, the kitchen is overlooked. It's rushed through. It's cluttered, dim, or disconnected from the rhythm of life. And when the fire energy of the kitchen weakens, so does the energy of sustained prosperity. I recall a man named Thomas, a single father raising 2 children. His kitchen was functional, but uninspired. "I only use the microwave," he admitted, "I just don't have time." He was always tired, always behind financially, always feeling like life was slipping through his fingers. I encouraged him to make one small shift: clean his stovetop, light a candle each morning, and place a single cinnamon stick in a ceramic bowl beside the sink. "Let this be your hearth," I said. "Even if only symbolically." He hesitated, but did it. Weeks later, he reported that mornings felt different. "I don't rush anymore," he said. "The kitchen feels alive." That's what cinnamon does in this space. It activates warmth. It infuses the air with a subtle sense of comfort and abundance. Its scent blends with the aroma of food, signaling to the subconscious, "This home is cared for. This family is nourished. Wealth is welcome here." To harness this energy, place a whole cinnamon stick in a small bowl or spice jar near your stove. Wipe down surfaces with a rinse of cinnamon-infused warm water. Keep the cooking area clean and intentional, not sterile, but lovingly maintained. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. Even something as small as opening the spice drawer and catching a whiff of cinnamon becomes an affirmation. You are reminded, without words, that your home has fire, and that fire feeds your fortune. And beyond money, the kitchen influences mood, memory, and relationships. When meals are prepared in peace, they carry that peace. When shared with presence, they deepen connection. A kitchen warmed by cinnamon and care becomes more than a room. It becomes a center of spiritual nourishment, where abundance begins, not in numbers, but in the way we give. Part 7, Workspace, where energy becomes action. In Buddhist thought, clarity leads to right action. In Feng Shui, clear energy leads to forward movement. And in your home, there is one space where clarity and energy must meet: your workspace. Whether it's a home office, a corner desk, or even a small table where you pay bills and plan your week, this is where your ideas become choices, and your choices become results. Many people overlook the energy of their workspace. They focus on tools, deadlines, or schedules. But what truly determines your ability to succeed is not just the time you spend at your desk, it's the quality of energy you bring into it. I once consulted with a marketing strategist named Rachel. She was creative, skilled, and experienced, but often struggled to finish projects and follow through with clients. Her workspace was stylish but overwhelmed: piles of papers, open books, scattered notes, and a mix of decorative items with no clear intention. I invited her to try a simple reset: clear her desk completely. Wipe it down with cinnamon-infused water. Then place a single cinnamon stick in a small bowl near her monitor, along with a crystal of her choice. She chose citrine, for confidence and mental clarity. In the weeks that followed, her focus sharpened. She described it like something clicked. She no longer jumped between tasks or second-guessed her pricing. She said the desk felt charged but calm. That is the power of intentional placement. Cinnamon, in this space, becomes a flame of focus. Not chaotic fire, but concentrated heat. It stimulates decision-making, precision, and momentum. To bring this energy into your own workspace, clear the surface before you begin each day, even just for 2 minutes. Place a cinnamon stick near your most used tool, your keyboard, planner, or sketchbook. Pair it with a crystal or plant to ground the energy and absorb stress. Most importantly, approach your desk as a sacred space. Not sacred because of ritual, but because it is where your inner vision becomes outer reality. You don't need expensive upgrades. You don't need perfect organization. What you need is presence. As you sit down to work, pause. Breathe. Let the scent of cinnamon remind you. I am capable. I am clear. I am aligned with action. Your workspace is the threshold between thought and outcome. When its energy is stagnant, even good ideas fade. But when it's alive with intention, even a small effort can ripple outward into real-world prosperity. Because wealth doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from the right effort, in the right energy. Part 8, the front door. Open the gateway, let abundance in. In Feng Shui, no space holds more symbolic power than the front door. It is known as the mouth of Qi, the place where energy enters your home, and by extension, your life. Think of it as the gateway between the seen and unseen. The threshold where the personal meets the universal. Where your private space meets the wider flow of opportunity, connection, and fortune. But here's the paradox. Although the front door is so energetically significant, it's often neglected. Dust gathers in the corners. Shoes pile up. The light is dim. And without knowing it, we signal to the world, and to ourselves, that we are not ready to receive. I once worked with a couple, Melissa and Jordan, who had recently moved into a lovely home. But since the move, Melissa said things had just felt stuck. Opportunities were delayed, communication between them had grown tense, and despite their efforts, their financial flow felt restricted. When I visited, I noticed their front door was blocked on both sides. A storage cabinet leaned against the inner wall, and an overgrown plant covered the path outside. The energy felt compressed, hesitant. We cleared the space, added a small rug in a vibrant color, and placed 5 cinnamon sticks under the welcome mat in the shape of a star. Nothing elaborate, just intention. 3 weeks later, Melissa emailed me, "It's strange, but things feel open again. We're communicating better. I got a freelance contract out of nowhere. I didn't even reach out, they found me." The truth is, your front door reflects your openness to life. Placing cinnamon at this entrance is a small act with deep meaning. Cinnamon carries warmth. It creates a soft yet powerful invitation for energy to enter, not in a rush, but in alignment. To activate this portal, clean the door, both sides. Remove cobwebs, dust, and clutter. Place a cinnamon stick under your welcome mat, in the doorframe, or inside a small pouch nearby. Whisper an intention every time you open it. With this door, I welcome opportunity. With this breath, I receive abundance. Light, scent, movement, these things matter. When your front door is well tended, you begin to feel differently every time you leave or return. It becomes more than a passageway, it becomes a ceremonial crossing. In Buddhism, doorways symbolize transitions. A moment between two states of being. So let your front door become a living symbol, of renewal, of readiness, of receiving what is meant for you. Because sometimes, the fortune you seek is already at your doorstep. It just needs the door to be open. Part 9, the ritual, aligning your energy with action. At some point, wisdom must leave the mind and enter the body. Knowledge becomes transformation only when it is lived, touched, and practiced. That is where ritual begins. After you've placed cinnamon in the key spaces of your home, the bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, workspace, wallet, and front door, you've already started to shift energy. But when you bring it all together in a single, intentional act, you don't just rearrange your home. You realign your inner life. This final step is not about ceremony for appearance. It's not about belief in superstition. It's about coming into full presence, choosing to touch your environment with care, attention, and clarity. Start with a simple preparation. In a small bowl, mix warm water with a pinch of cinnamon powder and a few drops of lemon juice or white vinegar. These ingredients aren't random. Water purifies. Lemon refreshes. Cinnamon activates. Together, they cleanse not just physical space, but stagnant, unspoken energy. Then, without distractions, begin to wipe the key points in your home. Doorknobs. Corners of rooms. The base of staircases. Around windows. Behind doors. You are not just cleaning. You are creating a subtle dialogue with the space. With each wipe, say silently, I release what no longer serves. I welcome clarity, flow, and abundance. Once this gentle clearing is done, return to each cinnamon point you placed earlier. Pause in front of it. Rest your hand near it. Close your eyes. Let your breath settle. And here, speak. You don't need long mantras or complicated prayers. What matters is honesty. Speak what you wish to become true, not to control the future, but to align your present. For example, at your workspace, let my ideas find form. Let focus return. At your front door, let blessings enter with ease. In the kitchen, let what I prepare nourish more than the body. If words don't come easily, simply be still. Let your presence become the offering. This is what Buddhists call mindful placement, the act of putting something down with your whole being, not just your hands. When you do that, even the smallest act becomes sacred. Finally, before you finish, return to the center of your home. Stand there, not to analyze, not to perfect, but to notice. The air will feel different. And so will you. Because this ritual is not just about cinnamon, or cleaning, or charm. It's about sending a signal. To your home. To your body. To the world around you. A message that says, I am ready. I have made space. Let the right energy come. When that signal is clear, the response never fails to arrive. Wealth begins where awareness lives. By now, you've done far more than place cinnamon in corners. You've shifted energy. You've softened resistance. You've entered into a quiet conversation with your home, and with yourself. Because ultimately, this journey is not about attracting money. It's about awakening the flow of conscious abundance that begins within. The placement of a cinnamon stick is simple. But the act behind it is profound. It says, I am here. I am listening. I am ready. In both Feng Shui and the Dharma, we are reminded of this truth again and again. Outer changes follow inner alignment. It's not about decorating your home with spiritual symbols. It's about recognizing that every space you inhabit reflects your own mind. Every drawer, every doorway, every breath you take in your home is a mirror. If there is tension, it reveals tension within. If there is peace, it reveals peace returning. Cinnamon is not magic, but it holds a vibration. A reminder. It invites warmth, clarity, and movement into spaces that have long been still. And when placed with presence, it activates a message far louder than words. This life is ready to hold more. So don't stop here. Today, you may have cleaned a corner. Tomorrow, you may notice a decision feels easier. A relationship softens. An opportunity finds its way to your inbox. It may not be dramatic, but it will be true. Energy moves in whispers, not shouts. Wealth arrives not through force, but through readiness. And that readiness is something you build, not once, but every day. With every mindful breath. With every quiet ritual. With every cinnamon stick placed not in haste, but in harmony. If this video has touched something within you, if it's helped you see your home, your habits, or your heart a little differently, then honor that shift. Click the like button to anchor this energy and let it ripple forward. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma so you can continue receiving practices that align your space with your spirit. And share in the comments. I am ready to receive with stillness, and give with joy. Let that be the message you send into the field. Because energy doesn't just arrive. It responds. And when your home becomes a sanctuary of intention, abundance will know exactly where to find you.